All right.
Thanks. Love you.
All right, guys. Let's get started. So it's about 4:02. And then, yeah, the plan today is to go through maths and just a quick recap of the TEEL structure, why it's important. And that's pretty much it for today. It'll be fairly straightforward, short and sweet class. And yeah, so let's get started. There's a few kids joining in a bit late, but they can always watch the recording. So we'll start off with the first question. Question number one. A school has 10 classes with the same number of students in each class. So 10 classes, this is too small. 10 classes with the same number of students in each class. One day the weather was bad and many students were absent. 5 classes were half full. Three classes were 3/4 full, and 2 classes were 1/8 empty. A total of 70 students were absent. How many students were in the school when no students were absent? So the way to do this question is to kind of first figure out what is the, all right, sorry, a few people are asking to post the YouTube link onto WhatsApp. So let me just share that first. All right, so that's been shared. Let's get started. So the way I like to do this question is first break down how many classes were empty. And the way you kind of do that is for this question, you start off with the first one and says that 5 classes were half full. So what that means is that the first 5 classes, half of them were empty. So I'll just say EC for empty classes, which means that what's half of 5? 2.5. So 2.5 were empty classes. So there's 2.5 empty classes, right? Up next, we have 3 classes that were 3/4 full. So if they're 3/4 full, that means that 1/4 was empty. So 3 classes were 1/4 empty. So there was 3/4 of a class that was empty. And then finally, 2 classes were 1/8 empty as well. So 2 times 1/8 is 2/8 empty classes. Anyone have any questions about this?
No.
So with this, it tells us that there's 2.5 classes empty, 3/4 empty, and 2/8 empty. So to find out how many were actually empty, just to make things a bit easier, 3/4 is the same as 0.75. 2/8 is the same as 1/4, which is 0.25. And when you add all these together, you get 2.5 plus 0.75 plus 0.25, which is 3.5 classes worth of students, right? 3.5 classes were empty, right? So the question also tells us that 70 students were absent. So what that means is that 3.5 classes where the students were absent, 70 students were absent. So 70 students is the number of students in 3.5 classes. So we want to find out how many students are in one class. So you go from 3.5 to one class by dividing by 3.5. So you have to divide 70 by 3.5 as well. 70 divided by 3.5 is 20. So if one class has 20 students, 10 classes have 200 students. So I'll give you guys some time to write down notes. If you have any questions, just send it in the chat. I'll take a look. All right. Okay. Question number 2. So this question, I think the first few classes, you had the answer as 212. The correct answer is C, and I'll explain why. So starting off, for this question, one of the tips I'll give you guys is if you guys are stuck or confused about certain questions, right? The number one thing I'll explain is that to visualize it. So, oh, sorry, there's a question. Melvin, if there's 1/4 empty, then 3/4 would be full, not emptying. So the question says 3 classes were 3/4 full, and we were trying to figure out all the empty ones. So that's why we did 3 times 1/4. So this question is to visualize it. And what I mean by that is think about this cake and draw what the cake would look like. So here we have a circle. And then once I have my circle, what I'm going to do is it says that he had half a cake left over. So that means from the first party, that from the night before, half of the cake was already eaten. And then it says the next day he ate a third of it. So I would split it into 3 parts, and I know that he ate 1/3 of the cake the next day. And if 1/2 is 3 slices, the whole pizza is 6 slices, right? So what's left over is 2/6, which is the same as 1/3. But in this question, it all ends in 12. So we have to convert, 2/6 or 1/3 into 12s. So that is the same as 4/12. And if you're confused, it's because 2 divided by 2 is 1, 6 divided by 2 is 3, 2 multiplied by 2 is 4, 6 multiplied by 2 is 12. Or 1 multiplied by 4 is 4, 3 multiplied by 4 is 12. So they're all the same. They all simplify into the same. All right, so that's question number 2. Now, just the maths way of it, like how you'd write it mathematically, it would be like this. A half of the cake is left. So when you eat the first half of the cake, you're left with 1/2. And you're trying to find, if he ate 1/3 of it, what's remaining is 2/3. So you do 1/2 times 2/3, which also gives us 2/6, which is the same as 4/12. Do you guys understand? I'll keep it up there for a while for you to take some notes. If you have any questions, you can send it in the chat. Pretty easy. Awesome stuff, guys. All right. Question number 3. Tank A can hold 5 liters of water if 1/10 of it is poured into tank B. So let's break it down, first of all. So it says that tank A has 5 liters. If 1/10 of it is poured into tank B, so what is 1/10 of 5 liters? That is 0.5 liters, correct? So if 1/10 is poured into tank B will be 1/3 full. So that means that 0.5 liters is the same as 1/3 of tank B. And we want to find out what 3/3 is, or the full tank. So you just multiply by 3 and you get 1.5 liters, right? Another fairly easy question. You guys can take some notes. If you have any questions, you can send it in the chat. By the way, if you're feeling shy about asking questions, just remember that nobody else can see your questions. All the messages you sent, only I'm able to see it. So if you have any questions, you can send it there. Most of my iPad. Sorry, guys, my iPad just turned off. Let me fix it. All right. So good question. Someone asked me, can you do it with milliliters instead of liters? Absolutely. So I think when I explained this in the Wednesday class, I use milliliters just because it's easier to visualize. But by visualize, I mean, it's so much easier to know that 5,000 divided by 10 is 500 rather than 5 divided by 10 is equal to 0.5. So either way works. Question number 4. Point A has the coordinates of 2, 2. What are the coordinates of its image if it's translated 2 points up, 5 units left, and is reflected across the x-axis? So let's draw the map, I mean the coordinates itself.
Melvin, can you go up for a second?
Yep.
Just a question.
Yep. So here we have 2, and here we have 2. So right now the coordinate is at 2, 2. It then goes up by 2 points. So I'll show it like this. And now it's at 4. Then it goes left. It says, so it goes up 2 points and 5 points to the left. So it goes 1, 2 to 0. And then 1, 2, 3 to -3. So now it's at -3 and 4. All good so far? And then from here, it says it's reflected across the x-axis. So just to show you guys, this is the x, this is the y. And whenever you see something that's reflected across the x-axis, what that means is that everything here goes down here. The best way to kind of understand how that works is, remember back in kindergarten, you guys did butterfly paintings, right? Where
Yes.
on a folded piece of paper, you would paint, half of a butterfly, and then you'd fold a piece of paper. And if you press it a few times, once you unfold a piece of paper, there's a butterfly on both sides, right? It's like a full butterfly.
Yes.
Similarly, when you reflect something, you're folding across this line so that all of this goes to this side. So if x is here at the top, it will go all the way down to here. So right now, x is at -3, 4. So it will go all the way down the same distance. And now it will be a -4. So the new coordinates is -3 across. I'll show you this way. -3 across and -4 down. So the coordinates is -3, -4. Do you guys understand?
Yes. Melvin,
Awesome.
can you
If you guys have any
re-explain
questions, you
that
can.
part? Yeah.
Yeah. So the person who said explain that part, which part was it? Could you just send it in the chat? So I'll just wait for your message. So just explain, if you could just explain which part was confusing. One second. All right. All right. So the part where how you got -3, -4. Yeah. So let me rub a few things out. So I'm going to rub out this thing here, that there. I'm going to rub all that out, all of that out. And now it's easier. So we got -3, -4, because do you see how the coordinate is at this position, right? And when it gets reflected, it goes the exact opposite to from +4, it becomes -4. So now it becomes -3 across and -4 down.
Okay.
Do you guys understand?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So question
Yes.
number 5,
Yes.
we have a circle with a radius of 2, and it's drawn with the center at -5 and 2. So let's just draw the map there.
Melvin, can you go up for a second?
Yeah. All right. And then here we have okay. Before I draw this, I just want to quickly explain to you. So someone asked me, can you explain the part of 5 units up and 2 units? So what that means is that when it's at 2 and 2, so 2 across, 2 up, when it says translate 2 points up, it goes 1, 2 up, 2 across, 4 up. Do you understand, Ethan?
Yeah.
And then once again, if you go left side, it's at 2 across. So it goes 1, 2 left to get to 0, and then 1, 2, 3 to get to -3. Do you understand?
Yeah. Thanks.
Awesome. Someone asked me,
Yeah.
is y positive? So y is just the name for how high you are. So 0 is when it's like in the middle. Anything above 0 is positive. Anything below is a negative. Same thing. Anything to the right of 0 is positive on the x-axis. Anything to the left is negative. So kind of,
Excuse me, Mr. Melvin.
yeah.
I still don't get question 4. It's quite confusing.
What do you mean? Like which part about it?
The whole thing, because I don't get the X and stuff like that.
So I'm sure, like, you've heard me before when I say I don't explain questions when you say you don't understand the whole thing, because I'm sure you're a very smart boy and you understand some aspects of it. So which point did I lose you? So for example, do you not understand why there's an X here?
I don't get why the answer is -3 and -4. Shouldn't it be 3 minus 4?
Because the last step, right? We
Yeah.
reflected it. So it finishes off here -3, 4, right?
Yeah.
Then when you reflect it, it makes a mirror image. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it's down here. So that's why it becomes -4, -3. Do you
Okay.
understand?
Thank you.
Yep. All right. So question number 5. Before I go on to question number 5, I just want to quickly explain how to read coordinates. So here's the question. I'm going to have, this is 2, this is 3, this is 3, and this is 2. Now I have the coordinate 2, 3. And I want to show you guys two things. That's A there, and that's B there. Is 2, 3A or is 2, 3B? I'll give you guys some time to send your answers in the chat. Do you guys think the coordinate 2, 3 should be A, or do you think the coordinate 2, 3 should be B? So there you go. All right. So it's pretty much an even split. Some of you said that it's A, some of you said that it's B. The best way to know which way to read a coordinate is, there's two different ways actually. You can read it as across first, then up. So A comes before U, so the first one is across, then it's up. Or another way I've heard a teacher explain to me is that a baby crawls first before it stands up, right? So 2 across, then 3 up. So the answer is A. A is 2, 3. Do you guys understand? So across first, then up. So for this question, we have a circle at -5. Let's do that. -5. -5, +2. So we have -5 here, and then +2 here. So we have a circle at this coordinate. And then it says that the shape is translated right 4 and down 3. What is the center now? So when it goes right 4, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's at -1, +2. Then it goes down 3. So it goes 1, 2. Oops, sorry. 1, 2, 3. Let's draw that. -1. So the circle is now at -1 across and -1 down. So the coordinate is -1, -1. D. If you guys have any questions, send it in the chat now. I'll leave it up if you want to take any notes. How do you know how much space is each jump? Well, this graph is not perfect, but we know that 2 minus 2 goes to 0, and 2 minus 3 should be -1. So 1, 2, 3. Or -5, to the right-hand side, it should be -5 plus 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 to -1. Someone asked me, why do we do X before Y? It's just convention. That's how they do it. Mathematicians they just decide that's how you should read coordinates. Someone says, I don't get it. Remember, guys, I don't answer questions where you just say, I don't understand or I don't get it, because I'm sure you guys are smart enough to understand some of it. It's definitely so a specific point. So if you tell me which point you're stuck on, happy to help you guys out there. Why are the letters X and Y? Again, mathematicians just decided that's how they wanted it to be, X and Y. So there's one more plane. So this is Y, this is X, and then when it goes outwards, that is Z. So on a 2D surface, you can go up and down, left and right. But when you go out of the 2D structure, that when you go in and out, that is 3D, and that's when you have Z as well. So someone asked me, can you explain translating? Translate just means it's just a maths way of saying move. So it moves right and down. It moves down by 3, moves right by 2 or 4. So again, guys, if you just say, can you explain how you got the answer? We just did that. So you'll need to be more specific about which part you got stuck on. If you just say, I don't get the whole thing, what it is telling me is that either you didn't pay attention or just, are not thinking about where it is actually that's confusing. So just to make sure you guys are asking, proper specific questions, you'll have to specifically say, hey, this is the part where I'm stuck at. What does it mean center? So the center of the circle is where the middle part of the circle is, Rian. So this is the center. Center. Is this American or Australian? All right, center. I think this is the American spelling, right? And then British is that. All right. Okay, awesome. Question number 6. Referring to the previous question, the circle is then enlarged by a scale of 2. So what does that mean? It means that whenever you make something bigger, you can increase it or decrease it by a certain scale, right? So if a circle is, 2 centimeters across, if you enlarge it by 2, it will now be 4 centimeters across, right? It doesn't grow by 2, it multiplies by 2, right? So on the other hand, if you scale by 3, oops, let me just do that. If you scale by 3, you multiply by 3, and it is 6 centimeters across. And finally, if you scale, again, you can get something like where it says it scales by a half. It means it's shrunk, where now it's just 1 centimeter across, right? It's basically the number you multiply with. So for this question, in the previous question, it says that the circle has a radius of 2 centimeters. If you enlarge it by 2, the circle now has a radius of 4 centimeters. So the diameter, the whole distance, which is twice as big, will be 8. And the answer is 8. Okay?
Yep.
All right. Question number 7. If a customer calls you, so here we have a flow chart about receiving a bug or a feature issue. If a customer calls about a problem that turns out to be a feature that they desire rather than a malfunction, what is the next step according to the flow chart? So you start off by looking at the very first, the beginning of the issue report, and asks you to this question: is this a bug? So in this question, the answer is it's not a bug because it's a feature that they desire. The question says that turns a feature that they desire rather than a malfunction. So because it's not a bug, you go to the product development team. So the answer is B. Do you guys understand? All right. Question number 2. What happens if an issue reported by a customer is already in the issue database? So I'll just go this way. All right. So if it's already in the database, so you start off again by the top end and says issue report. Is this a bug? Yes, it is a bug. Is the issue already known? Yes. Notify the customer and estimated time to fix. So looking at the answers, we choose once again, we choose B. We have to notify about the known issue and the estimated time to fix. So a bug is like a typo or a problem or an issue, right? A feature is something you want or made. All right. So for example, let me think. For example, in humans, right? In humans, like, let's just assume humans were a robot that was made. You would think that the ability to feel pain. So for example, when you hit your hand or you get cut, you know how you feel pain? If humans were a robot that was designed, then you would say that the ability to feel pain is a bug, right? You'd think, oh, that's not a good thing. Why do we need to feel pain? It's a bad robot if it feels pain or if it gets hurt.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's not a bug, it's a feature. It's something that we need to have, because imagine if you get a cut on your hand or on your arm, or there's an infection on your body, if you don't feel pain, you won't know there's a problem, and therefore you won't allow your body time to heal, right? So that's just an example of those two things. A bug in an actual human, like something that's not a good design, is, if you guys know what an appendix is. So it's I hope that's the correct spelling. It's this tiny little organ inside your body. We don't use it anymore as like modern day humans, but the thing is that appendix inflames every now and then, and if you don't get surgery, it could like kill you. So like I actually got my appendix like had to be removed because I got sick from it. So yeah, I got my bug flared. All right. Question number 9. What was the year when laptops achieved parity with PCs in terms of market share? So what that means is that which year did PCs and laptop have the same market share? And the answer is very straightforward. It is 2018, where they both had equal market share. Answer is C. All right. So that's the first page. I'll zoom out if you want to take any notes before moving on to the next page. Parity means like equal. So it means like when they matched each other on the same level.
Melvin,
Yep.
can you see my message in the chat?
I'm so sorry to say that there's so many messages. If you send that again, I'll take a look. All right. Question number, the next page. What is the average annual rate of decrease in market share for PCs from 2010 to 2020? So at the beginning of 2010, the market share of PCs was 70%. By 2020, the market share of PCs was about 45%. So in the 10-year gap, in 10 years, PCs dropped by 25%, right? It dropped by 25%. So if it dropped by 25% in 10 years, it means that every year it decreases by 2.5%. Do you guys understand? If you have any questions, in the chat.
Yes. And my question in the chat. Yes.
Siddharth, I think you would be sending it to someone else. Oh, actually, no, I just got it. So Siddharth asked me, is question number 5 is this like, why do we not have brackets? Just probably a mistake, man. No specific reason.
Oh, thank you.
Based on the trend and assuming the rate of change in the market share remains constant, what will be the market share of laptops in the year 2022? So let's take a look. Here we have laptops. We can see that every 2 years, it goes up by 5%, right? So if it's 2020, the next 2 years, it's 2022. So it should be 60%, right? 60%. So the answer is A. Do you guys understand? Let me know if you have any questions, send it in the chat. What is market share? So market share is, imagine, let me give you an example. So Tina, when you want to search for something, if you want to learn something, right? Where do you search for it? Do you go use Bing? Perfect. You don't use Bing, right? You don't use Bing. You don't use Safari. You don't use Bing. You don't use Yahoo. You use Google. Everyone uses Google, right? So in the market of searching for things, Google owns the whole like market, where anyone who Googles things, pretty much they Google things, they search for it on Google. Another example would be, for example, in Australia, if you want to go buy groceries, there's only 2 big grocery stores you can go to. There's Coles and there's Woolworths. There's IGA, there's Spudshed, a few more of those small things, but most of it is owned by Coles and Woolworths. So market share is, imagine there's a market for something. So in this case, groceries. You would say that Coles has about 40% of the market share. This is Kohl's. Woolworths has another 40%. We'll call it Woolworths. And then the remaining 20% is small shops, I guess. Small shops. So it's just like how much people use it. Or another example is like nowadays, nobody use, like for example, how many people use big PCs in their houses versus how many people have laptops. If the
Oh,
so there's no working out for question 11, man. It's like it's just going up by 5%. So you can just say 55 plus 5. Question number 12. If the current trend continues, project the year in which laptops will have a 70% market share. Assume a linear trend based on the data from 2010 to 2020. So let's take a look. Every year, market share goes up by 5%, right? Every year it's going up by 5%. And currently at 2020, it is at 55%. So in 2020, it's at 55%. And we want to know when it will be, sorry, not 75, 70%.
okay.
Question mark. 20 question mark, question mark. So to go from 55% to 70%, that is an increase of 15%, right? Increase of 15%. We know every 2 years, it goes up by 5%. So in 4 years, it will be up by 10%. And in 6 years, it will be up by 15%. So if it's a 2020 plus 6, it'll be 2026. Got it? So a few of you guys are asking what's linear. So let me show you an example here. Let's just say you get, for example, how many of you guys, how many of you, your mom and dad has made just, a savings account in a bank. So they put money for you in Commonwealth Bank or Bank West or one of those small, like small accounts where they say, hey, here's your pocket money. We'll put your money savings here. Every month, we want you to put in $10 so you save up money and you learn how to save, right? If you haven't done so already, like I think you should do it. It's really cool. You get to learn how to manage money, things like that. But so some of you say yes, some of you say no. But to give you an example, when I was young, so when I was in year, I think 3, I grew up in Ireland. And that's something I say every week. But in Ireland, we have this banks called credit unions. They're these small banks, and they encourage kids to go save money in their bank account. And banks give you interest, right? So what that means is that you put money in the bank and the bank pays you money because you let them borrow your money to use for things. So for example, if your mom and dad bought a house, they might have asked, borrowed money from the bank, things like that. So the bank doesn't magically make that money. They use your savings to buy houses and lend things and stuff like that, right? So when I was young, my dad would, put $100 in, or in Ireland, it was 100 euros. And let's just say it grows at 10%. At the end of year 1, it would go up by 10% and now be 110 euros. End of year 2, it'll go up even more and it'll be 121 euros. End of year 3, year 4, year 5. Do you see how it's growing like this? So I'll show you a more dramatic effect. It's growing like a hockey stick. That is called exponential growth, right? Sorry, it's compounding. I don't think it's perfectly exponential. Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, exponential growth, right? Where it grows like a hockey stick, where it curves up. Linear growth is if instead of the bank giving me interest, every year they just give me $10. Okay, Melvin, you put in $100, we give you $10 every year. So at the end of the growth will be like this. It is
But I don't
straight
want to
line.
do this.
It's a straight line. So similarly, in this question,
Voice thinks that's so
Julia,
crazy.
could you please turn your please?
What is that?
Julia, your mic is unmuted. Atulia, same as you, Pragun. All right. So if you look at this question, laptops are going up every year by 5%. So that's what I mean by that is the laptops will start off at 30% and it will just go up in a straight line. So that's what linear means. All right. Question number 12. There's two question 12s. This is 13, obviously. Helena has a fair coin and a wooden cube. On the cube, there are two faces colored green, two faces colored blue, two faces colored red. Helena flips the coin and tosses the cube. What is the probability of getting both a tail on the coin toss and a green face on the roll of the cube? So, sorry guys. Pragun, it might be your internet. I can't fix that, buddy. If it's lagging there. So what I want to teach you guys about probability just really quickly. Again, just a side note. This is why coming to the Zoom classes are so helpful, because you guys get to learn a lot of like small little things that I pick up over the week of teaching. And only you get it, nobody else gets to learn these things. So a quick tip about probability is imagine your mom is a mathematician and she's actually an evil mathematician. So I'm going to choose who would like to be part of the example. Send it in the chat or the reaction, I guess. All right, so I'll use Anya as an example. So Anya, your mom is an evil mathematician, and she says, Anya, has your mom or dad already promised you anything if you pass the GATE exam?
Not really.
Okay, so imagine your mom okay. Let's just say she promises you. What would you like if you pass the GATE exam?
I would like an
Actually,
iPhone.
let's just not choose your mom. Let's just say I'm the evil mathematician, and
Yeah.
I say, "Hey, Anya, Loyola will buy you whatever you want if you pass the GATE exam," and you're choosing an iPhone. So is it like an iPhone 4? Is that okay? A broken iPhone? Be more
Yeah.
specific. Broken iPhone?
A
Would you like
broken
the latest brand new iPhone? How about that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Alina, sorry, this is Anya. So Anya,
Yeah.
imagine I come to you and I say, "Hey, one second, guys."
Manji, I don't think it's on you.
It is on you.
All right. So option one, you have let's say Anya, I say that if you pass the GATE exam and I shave all of my hair off, I fully shave my hair off, you get an iPhone. Option two, if you pass the GATE exam or I shave all of my hair, you will get an iPhone. I would like everyone to send in the chat which option is better. Option one, where Anya has to pass the GATE exam and I have to shave my hair, or two, she has to pass the GATE exam or I shave my hair. So most of you chose correctly. It's option two. Option two is better. And the reason is in option two, I chose the word or. When you have the word or, you only need to satisfy one of the two different conditions, right? Right? She passes or I have to shave my hair. So imagine if Anya doesn't pass the GATE exam, she can, theoretically sneak into my house at night and then she and her friends will, like, while I'm sleeping, completely shave my hair. And that way she can still get an iPhone, right? But in the option where I said and, Anya has to pass the gate exam and she has to break into my house and shave my hair, right? Which is much, much harder, or like the probability is much, much lower. So whenever you see the word and, you add the probability. Whenever you see the word and, you multiply the probability. Because when you multiply fractions, the number actually gets smaller, right? So in this question, it's the question says the toss of a coin and a green face. So the probability of getting a tails is 1/2, and the probability of getting a green face is 2/6. And because the word is and, we multiply. And the answer is 2 over 12, which is the same as 1/6. B. Good job, guys. Anya, would you actually do that? If I promised you option 2, would you guys actually sneak in and shave my hair? I can't hear you.
Probably.
No,
No.
never. No.
Probably.
If it's an iPhone, then yes.
To do that.
Yeah.
No.
And then
No.
I just like I just wake up.
Yes.
Maybe.
All right,
Probably.
Maybe.
No.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
all
What
right.
happens if I did?
No.
Definitely.
Thank you. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I was just saying, imagine if like I just wake up,
Can I?
sleep the next, and I just like, go to brush my teeth, and then I'm like, who is this person? What? And then it turns out that Anya snuck in with her friends and just like completely given me a haircut.
That'd be fun.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
It'd
That'd
be,
be so good.
I'll be impressed
Yeah.
how she was able to cut my hair without me waking up. Like fully, like, give me a clean hairstyle. I'll be like, Anya, you have a great potential to be a fantastic barber or a hairdresser.
Wow.
So good. So good.
All right. Question
Yeah,
number
guys.
14. Question number 14. Monique has a box.
Can you go
Idea.
up, please?
Yeah. Monique has a box that contains the following marbles: 5 yellow marbles, 3 green marbles, 2 orange, 2 blue. She randomly selects 2 marbles from the box and keeps them. If she randomly selects a third marble from the box, the probability that she selects a green marble will be 2/10. Which of the following statements could be true for the first 2 marbles? So here's the thing. Before she doesn't choose anything, there are 3 green marbles in total, correct? And in the whole bag, there are 12 marbles. But after she removes 2 marbles, the bottom or the denominator has 10, right? Because it's, -2. And the top, it says that the probability of getting a green marble is 2. So what that means is that one of the marbles was green. So it can be option A. It can't be option B because both of them are not green. It can't be option C because only one green marble was chosen, and it can't be D because one green marble was chosen. So the answer is A. How can the possibility to get a green marble be 2 out of 10 when there's 12 marbles in total? Good question. See, this is an example of a question that is specific instead of very general. So remember I said, don't ask questions where you just say, I don't understand. I don't get it. Very general stuff. I won't answer those questions. But this is a very specific question where it says, how can the possibility to get a green marble be 2 out of 10 when there is 12 marbles in total? So why the probability dropped? As soon as I said that, someone just said, I don't get it. Guys, as I mentioned, I'm sure you're smart enough to figure out at least some of it. Tell me which part you don't understand. So for example, the student earlier said that they don't understand why it's at 2 out of 10 when there's 12 marbles. The reason it's 2 out of 10, not 2 out of 12 is because she took out 2 marbles from the box and she keeps them. So she removes 2 of the marbles now. So if there's 2 less marbles, the denominator also must change. Do you understand, James? Awesome. Yeah, awesome. So she took out 2 marbles. One of them was green. And then the total number of marbles actually went down as well. So the answer is 2 out of 10. Question number 15. Reggie is trying to get to class from his home. By the way, this is every single student I know when they have to go to tuition on Saturday mornings, right? Every single tuition student. Why did she take out the marble? It's just a question. I don't know why she took it out. Reggie's trying to get to school from his home. Reggie wants to be late to class as he forgot to do his homework. So he walks forwards 80% of 10 meters. So 80% of 10 meters.
8.
That is equal to 8 meters. And then he walks backwards 33% of 9 meters. So backwards 33% of 9 meters. And that is equal to negative
3.
So that means he moves a total of 5 meters forwards every 5 minutes, which is 1 meter every 1 minute. And the question's asking for 200 meters, so that will take 200 minutes. And 200 minutes is the same as 3 hours and 20 minutes. So that's a step-by-step working out. Take some notes. Fun fact, this was the first question that we made in Loyola back in 2018. So I made this question back in 2018. It was actually much easier, actually. We just added this last line, I think about 2 years ago, but this was an OG question. A large picture takes up 1/5 of Gary's wall. So let's draw Gary's wall. So this is Gary's wall. There's a large picture that takes up his wall, which is it fills up actually, here's a better way to kind of like visualize it. So a large picture takes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a painting fills up 1/5 of his wall, right? But then now he's got a new painting which fills up 1/4 of his wall. So 1/4 would be 1, 2, 3. So now it fills up this much of the new wall. So the question is, how much less of the wall can he see? So it would be 1/4 minus 1/5. The lowest common multiple for both of them is 20. So 1/4 becomes 5 over 20. And 1/5 becomes 4 over 20. And it gives you 1 over 20. The answer is B. So Babu K says, how do you get 3 hours and 20 minutes? You get that because every hour is 60 minutes. So 200 divided by 60 is equal to 3 hours, remainder 20 minutes. Do you understand, Babu K? Awesome. All right, so that's it for maths. Here's the page if anyone wants to take any notes. If you have any questions, send it in the chat. So Aryaman, which part of this question is it that you don't understand?
I got confused with the part where it gives a relation with the time.
Sorry?
I got confused at the part where the 5 minutes comes in.
Yeah, so it says that he walks 80% of 10 meters forwards and 33% of 9 meters backwards every 5 minutes.
ചുണ്ടില് കൈവെക്കുന്ന ദിയ.
Yeah, you're unmuted. All right, remember to stay muted. But do you understand Aryaman? Aryaman?
Yes.
All right. Awesome. And then that's
Yes.
when you get 5 meters every 5 minutes. So that means it's 1 meter every 1 minute and then 200 minutes every 200 minutes. Do you understand?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions, guys? Send it in the chat. So let me see. There's a few other questions. So the first one is, how much is 33%? 33% is approximately 1/3. So that's why 1/3 of 9 is equal to 3. The homework for next week is you have this writing topic. We want you to write a persuasive writing if you haven't done one already. If you have already done a persuasive writing, you can do narrative as well. So either persuasive, if you have not done persuasive yet, narrative, if you already have done a narrative. But again, you can do any type. You can do poetry, you can do information text, whatever you like. You also have the reading comp. So all of this. And then you have abstract
For
reasoning.
writing, can I do narrative?
Yes, Ishan, you can.
Okay, thank you.
So that's the homework.
Tom.
So how do you do subtraction with fractions? That's a long lesson.
If you,
Recommend. You guys are.
Tom.
I'm so sorry, my friend. I don't take questions over the microphone, so you can send it in the chat. Okay. So Vihan, one thing I'll recommend, and for everyone as well, if there's a concept in maths that you're not fully sure about, this is a amazing resource. So I'll send it in the chat. Khanacademy.com. Awesome website. Go check it out. It's free resources. Hopefully that's a correct URL. Academy. Yeah, it is. So yeah, go check it out. It's really, really useful. You can literally go there and search up whatever concept you're stuck on, and then you can learn from it there. For the people who didn't see the chat, it's called Khan Academy. So KHANACADEMY, Khan Academy.
Isn't that from the UK or the US? Does it have the US term?
It is, but maths is the same everywhere in the world. So it doesn't matter. We're just learning, just to learn maths concepts in general. My teacher said the prompt is video game should be considered sport. Yes, if your teacher gave you that topic for writing, that's fine. But this is the one that's just general. So you just choose either, like whatever the teacher told you to do. Let's see.
Melvin.
So sorry, my friend, you have to send in the chat. Let me just take a look. Can't you times the fractions in question 16? No, because it's asking for a difference in the two paintings, not what fraction of the other painting is. So when you're doing difference, you do subtraction. How do you do a persuasive text on helping hands? Well, for this question, honestly, you just have to figure out what is the best, like I can't help you with the ideation of it. Next week, Ethan, if you ask me the same question, I'll give you some ideas on what you could have done. But yeah, guys, that's it for maths. I just want to have a quick recap of let's see. For writing, can I do a poem? If you have not done a persuasive yet, you cannot. If you've already done a persuasive, you can do a poem. When is the online class? It's every Sunday at 4 o'clock. Someone said maths is different in America. No, guys, maths is the same everywhere in the world. For example, like 1 + 1 doesn't change in different countries, right? 1 + 1 is always 1. I mean, 2. It's always 2 everywhere in the world.
Except for the metric units.
Sorry?
Except for the metric units.
Yeah. So units will be different, right? So for example, you have like miles and kilometers and things like that, but that doesn't really, make a big difference in terms of like your studying.
Melvin, how do you write a persuasive on like this topic?
I can't tell that today. And again, guys, as I mentioned, so both Sanvi and Ishan, guys, you have to send in the chat.
Melvin, could you please go over question 1?
Yeah, so again, my friend, I can quickly go take a look at it, but in the chat as well, right? So, all right, let's take a look. Which aspect of it were you confused about in question 1? Which aspect of it, Babu K? Where you get 2/3. Okay. So, oh no, that the 2/3, my friend, that's from this question here. So it's from this question here. Do you understand? Okay. The ending where the percentages come and question 7. So Dia, I don't understand. What do you mean? There's no percentages in question 7.
Sorry, I meant question 6. Wait. Just a minute. Let me recheck the question. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Ariman asked me, does a text type so Seb, could you please stop messing around? Thank you, Seb.
Okay.
All right. So does your text type differ your marks? So it doesn't matter which text type you use, as long as you're good at it. Again, it's the question is kind of like asking, hey, how long is a string? A string is as long as you want it to be. Similarly, text affect your marks based off how well you do it. I had a student, true story. So the GATE results came out 2 days ago. I had a student who did exceptionally well in every subject. And he decided to write a poem for no reason. I don't know why. He's never done a poem with me for writing. And for that section, he got 30. But everything else, he got like 70s, like super, super high. And he still got quite, good in the GATE exam. So depending on how well you do it, that's how you get marked. Do you mark the writing with the actual GATE marking key? The actual GATE marking key is secret. They don't release it. But like we were very, very close. And I'll tell you a few of those reasons why in a message that I'm sending to your parents very soon. So Dia, question 15. So Dia, in question 15, what about the fractions was it confusing? The percentages was confusing.
Where I think it was like 5 meters every 5 minutes. How you got that? Like,
So starting off with this, do you understand what happened here?
it's 80% of 8 meters. No,
That's
80% of 8. 80% of 10 is
yeah.
8.
Do you understand how we got that?
Yes.
So he's walking forward 8 meters, and then he walked backwards 3 meters. So 8 minus 3 is?
5.
That's right. So it's 5 meters forward every 5 minutes. So that's how we got this.
And I also didn't get where it's like 1. Oh yeah, I did that. And then how you got 200 and 300?
No, sorry, they're both 200. It's just my handwriting's bad. So 1 minute every 1 minute, 200 meters every 200 minutes.
And then do you just make that into hours?
Yep, that's it.
Okay, thank you, Melvin.
You're welcome. All right, so let's do a quick recap of the TEEL structure. So, some of you have done persuasive writing 2 weeks ago, while the rest of you have done narrative writing a few weeks ago. And then hopefully this week it balanced out. So a quick recap of persuasive writing. what I want to do is go through the TEEL structure once again. So when you first start doing the TEEL structure, it seems very prescriptive. So what does that word prescriptive mean? Imagine when you first started learning how to play, for example, football or whatever sport you play, right? For me, it was soccer. So when I first started playing soccer, the coach will tell you, use microphone, man. Stay muted. So, Parth, I'm gonna have to ask you to stay muted again, my friend. All right. So when you first start learning how to play soccer or football, the coach tells you that, this is your feet, right? When you pass the ball, you hit the ball at around this part of your feet, right? In the inside of it on the middle section, right? That's how you pass the ball. Kind of imagining this as like a golf putter, right? So when you first start learning it, it seems very awkward. But over time, you do it enough that it becomes natural, right? Similarly, TEEL structure, when you first start doing it, it seems very,
Oh,
very
excuse me.
descriptive, like very, very like step by step, you're
What?
a block. But then over time, it comes to you naturally. But you need to have, the TEEL structure, because a lot of times students just waffle. They just say random stuff in between. So at first you have your topic sentence. Quick recap. Topic sentence. This sentence explains, sorry, in one sentence, describes what your, actually, I'll do sideways. What your paragraph is about. So in one sentence, it describes your whole paragraph. So imagine so in today's class, we did a random topic, and the topic we did was, should flip-flops or sandals, or in Australia, thongs, be banned? Right? Should flip-flops be banned? So the topic sentence I said was, flip-flops should not be banned because they are an affordable and functional footwear that is accessible by everyone. So flip-flops should not be banned because they're a functional, affordable footwear that is accessible by everyone. After your topic sentence, you have your explanation. So here, I want you to elaborate on your topic sentence. So for example, in your topic sentence, we just said something. Now we have to expand on it. So I would say, flip-flops are a universal footwear that people from all around the world can use in various situations and can buy affordably and easily at shops, right? You're elaborating on the topic sentence. After that, you must give your evidence. So it is a fact, statistic, quote that supports your argument, right? So for example, I would say the International Chamber of Commerce says that the cost of developing one flip-flop is 20 cents, while the cost of making a single shoe is $2, right? That's my fact. I say flip-flops are 20 cents, shoes are $2. And then after evidence, this is something that most people don't have in your TEEL, but it's something that I need you to have, which is a third E, which is your second explanation. And this explanation, you explain your evidence or put your evidence into context. So for example, we just said that sandals are 20 cents, shoes are $2. And then now we need to explain why that is relevant. So we say that sandals being 10 times cheaper than footwear can be accessible by almost anyone on the planet. And therefore, it is a wonderful shoe or wonderful piece of footwear that has all the benefits of a shoe, but at a 10th of the cost. Do you guys understand? You're explaining your evidence. You're putting it into context.
Yeah.
And finally, linking statement or sentence. So you link back your paragraph to the main idea. So for example, finally, you'd say, because of how accessible and affordable footwear, how affordable and how accessible flip-flops and sandals are, they should not be banned. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
Perfect. So that's just a quick.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you guys have any questions, send it in the chat. I'll take a look. But if you have no more questions, that's it for today, guys. You guys can head out. And no, you don't have a mock exam next week. It's the week after. So next week is our final normal class, and there's the mock exam in 2 weeks' time. Is TEEL for persuasive? It's for almost all essays. So this is for your body paragraphs. Body paragraphs, right?
Yeah.
What are flip-flops? Flip-flops are the shoes where it's a flat platform, and then it's got,
Idea.
just Google it. I think it'd be so much easier.
Sorry, but it's not letting me leave. I cannot click the leave button, so could you please kick me?
No, you're trapped. You're trapped in Loyola forever now. I'm sorry, Bhavesh.
Oh.
Does expert opinion count as evidence? Yes.
Funny
That's
joke, Melvin.
Can we put poems in persuasive? No, it doesn't make much sense. Unless you're using poem for a hook or a dramatic effect or to support something else. What does mock stand for? It just means like fake / practice. Okay, does anecdote count for the third E? No, the third E is explanation. It's explaining your evidence. Can a rebuttal affect your grades? No, rebuttals can be good. Your teacher told you it was TEEL. Yeah, it's TEEL, just the 2 E's, but then this is just extra that I would recommend you using. So you learn this like usually in like high school. That's how that's where they teach you. Like I know in primary school, they don't even teach you TEEL, they call it Oreo. So again, we're teaching you like just a more mature way of Oreo, and I'm teaching a bit more mature version, which is the TEEL.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, what is a rebuttal? A rebuttal is like an argument against someone else's argument. So someone says, actually, no, flip-flops are made of plastic, which is bad for the planet. And then you make a rebuttal against that argument. So that's, an argument against that argument.
Melvin, I mean,
Yeah.
because I was late for today's class, so when I come to the class, you guys soon to finish the class. So I'm going to do it on YouTube. You guys
Yes.
send us that one, so we can restart look that again.
Yes, of course. Yeah. So you can, I've just sent it in the group chat, Sally. So you can just find it on the WhatsApp group, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. See you later, guys.
See you
Bye.
later. Bye, Melvin.